Hey everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. I am here for day 5 of the February Video-a-Thon. Video-a-Thon. There we go. Video-a-Thon. That is so difficult to say. But I have a pocket layout for you, and this is the first layout that I'm creating with this stash kit. Now, I've created with this stash kit probably over a year ago and had layouts that were associated with it as well. But I don't know when that was, and it would be very difficult at this point to go back and figure that out. So we're just going to start a new list of layouts with this stash kit. It's kind of a rediscovered stash kit anyways. So I'm kind of treating it like a new kit, like I haven't worked with it before. And this layout, I really kind of flip through a lot of the cards and supplies and kind of get familiar with what's in this kit and just kind of get the feel for it. Now, there's a lot of different collections that were in this kit. This is a kit where I had pulled out all of my Studio Calico cards, and those are all the cards that were from kits that I had purchased. I used to be a subscriber for Studio Calico, but I was a subscriber to the 12x12 scrapbook kit, but then they would offer all of these pocket card kits, or I guess it was probably called... It's probably called our Project Life kit. I can't remember. But either way, it was basically the one that's for pocket cards of different sizes. So I had just put them all together, and I'm using them for this particular kit. I don't even think I realized that I didn't have any Studio Calico cards in my pocket card stash whenever I was going through that. I just don't think I realized it wasn't there. I mean, I knew I had Studio Calico cards somewhere, but it just never occurred to me that it wasn't there. All these months that I've been using my stash, I just didn't even realize that those cards weren't in there. I don't know where I thought they were, but they weren't there. That's for sure. They definitely weren't there. Now, I still have a lot of Studio Calico kits that are still together that I had purchased in one of their big sales and that I haven't actually used yet. So whenever I start building a stash kit with a pre-made kit as a base, you'll probably start seeing a few of those kits kind of wander in to the videos. Excuse me. I am like coming down with some sort of cold or sinus infection, which I hope not. But I'm very congested. My ears are hurting, all of the above. So excuse me for clearing my throat and hopefully not coughing. That hasn't really attacked me yet, but I know it will come. And I'm definitely very sniffly, so I apologize. I'm trying to keep that out of this video, but if you do hear it, I do apologize. So I'm still sorting through the cards here. I went ahead and added some white cardstock into the corners, all 3 corners that don't have a 4x6 photo. I tend to add a piece of white cardstock in the background. That way I could map my photos or map my pattern papers. It just gives that consistency to have that white border around all of those sections. I trimmed down that card at the top, and it's a quote that just says, "Any time not spent on love is wasted." And since this particular layout includes photos from our 10-year wedding anniversary, I thought that was a really nice quote to include. And I didn't necessarily need a big title card up here. I just had a blank space. So I went ahead and added that quote, and it ends up being a perfect thing. And I had absolutely no idea that I would add that quote, of course, whenever I was printing these photos, because I didn't even know about this kit. I didn't remember this kit. And so it just works out really, really well. It's kind of funny that whenever you put kits together, if you put them together without a particular layout in mind, it just kind of works. I know Nicole Jones talks about that a lot. Whenever she's doing her pre-made page kits, she puts them together most of the time without a particular layout in mind, and then it just seems to work. Just sometimes works out eerily perfectly, to be honest with you. You just don't always realize what you have going on and what might come up, and it just works. So now I'm going through the 3x4 cards, and I have quite a mountain of these cards. And I did just notice that there's a Project Life card mixed in there. I just saw it. It's the Here We Go car card that was there. I've noticed that in doing my scrapbooking, I've kind of become very familiar with manufacturers, not even meaning to. So I can pretty much point out... Well, not always, but for the most part, I can kind of point out where particular supplies are from, especially if it's brands or manufacturers that I use quite frequently. It's kind of interesting to me that I've become that familiar with it now. All right, so I picked out a couple. The one on the left is actually it was a die cut card that was sort of a 4x6, but not really, because I had an arrow cut out of the end of it. And so I just trimmed that down to be a 3x4, and it says, "You are awesome." And then the right 3 cards are all from Studio Calico. And the 2 on the right, one says Life Unscripted. That's the one with the stripes. The one on the right is just kind of a navy and blue polka dot. And then the one with all the hash marks, basically there are hash marks in sets of 5. And I'm going to use that as my title card because my title is 10 years. And so I thought it was just fitting to have the hash marks on there, kind of like you're counting up to 10. Obviously it goes much higher than 10. It's like 15, 30... 60. There's 60 on that card right there. So it goes up higher, much higher than 10, but I thought it was kind of a nice place to put my my title. Going through my stash kit, I shared an unboxing or a kit share video of that a couple days ago, and I will link that in the description box below. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. Right now I'm doing, in the month of February of 2019, I am attempting and hopefully going to be very successful. This is the plan. To be very successful in doing a video a day for this entire month. So for 28 days, I think there's 28 days this February. There is, right? Yes, I think so. I'll have to check the calendar, but I'm pretty sure there's only 28 days this February. But for the whole month of February of 2019, I will be doing a video a day. Some of them are layouts, some of them are kit shares, some of them are like putting kits together. Some of them are going to be projects, paper crafting projects. Some of them are going to be organizational projects. I am doing a huge room, like craft studio reorganization. Not even a declutter because I'm not getting rid of anything except for maybe packaging, but just like a reorganization. So if that's something you guys are interested in, make sure you subscribe. That way you can see, and I guess that notification bell so you can see when those videos come out. And then I will definitely be having more layouts with this particular kit in the next week or 2. I haven't decided how many layouts I'm actually going to do with it. I'm going to just keep working with it until I'm uninspired. Now, I'll be honest, I wasn't incredibly inspired when I was going through it and doing like that share video for you guys. It just didn't like reach out to me very much. But in doing this layout, I am super happy with how it turned out. So it makes me want to work more with the kit and see what else I can create. So there was a 3x4 card that had these boxes on it, and it said everyday life at its finest. One side had that quote kind of in a big print, and then the opposite side, which would have been the horizontal orientation of that card, had it in a smaller print as well as 3 other small boxes. So I went ahead and just cut out one of them, and I'm using it as a die cut on this particular card. Now, if you remember my unboxing or kit share video for this stash kit, there are a million die cuts that I had in this kit. And then I only use a couple of them on this layout. I really focused more on the papers, the washi tape, and the stickers. And then I had included these rub-ons because I wasn't sure if they were going to be good anymore because they're quite old. But they work perfectly, like seriously no problems. So I'm going to keep using them throughout this kit, but I will definitely put those back in my stash when I'm done with this kit. That's the whole reason they're in this kit, because I wasn't sure if they were even good or not, and I didn't want to put them in my stash and then have them be like duds. So they end up being really, really good. They're Kaiser Craft. Child's Play is the collection, and it's the rub-ons, and I have 2 sets of each of the rub-ons. I have a black and white set, and then I have this like teal and pink set. And I am currently rubbing on the little tiles that say I love you, and that's going to be the top of that particular title card. And then there are hearts or different variations of hearts and things throughout this whole rub-on set, and I'm going to use those all over the page. They're going to be on different little pieces, and this will tell you how good these rub-ons are. They're even so good that whenever you lay it down, because right now I'm kind of cutting them apart, but I will start to just lay down the whole sheet and rub it off. But they're so good that the rub-ons don't come off on the photos or on the cards whenever you lay the sheet down on top of it. Usually, I wouldn't say usually, but sometimes you have rub-ons that are just so easy to transfer. And I kind of take that as almost a lower quality because they just kind of come off. That they're so easily transferred that whenever you were to lay it down like this on a card, it would just come off on its own. And the ones around it would all come off on their own. So this one I don't have that problem with, which is really nice. And then the other thing that you could tell that it's really good quality. I had another thing. I don't remember what it was. I had it in my mind and I was going to say it. Oh well. I'll figure it out. Oh, I guess you just don't have to rub it very hard and it comes right off. You don't have any problems whatsoever. I do use this Martha Stewart stylus whenever I'm doing my rub-ons. I know the rub-ons come with a little popsicle stick and they work just fine. But I happen to like the little stylus that has the like ball end, and you just kind of rub it over it and it comes right off. Oh, I know what the other thing I was going to say. Took me a second. Excuse me. Okay, so the other way that you know it's a really good rub-on is because it'll even rub off onto washi tape. So on that bottom right card, right next to the sticker that says Wonder, I had it's on a piece of like gray and white polka dot washi tape, and the rub-on will even come off and transfer onto the washi tape, and it stays on. It doesn't just come off. So to me, that's a really good sign of a good quality rub-on right there. And these, again, are Kaiser Crafts, a Child Play collection rub-on. And I got these, over a year ago probably. And they were on one of the daily deal sites. So I know, usually when they're on those sites, usually they're much older collections or maybe collections that were overstocked somewhere. And so I have a feeling it was probably sitting somewhere for quite a while. But they still are very, very good. And I'm even like layering the rub-ons. I was just super happy with the way that they turned out. Okay, kind of reorganizing here. I don't have the photos in the middle row glued down yet, but I will take a moment to do that in just a second. But I'm going to do a little bit of journaling, and this is just using one of the die cuts that was in the kit that I shared with you. So I use that die cut. I use a half of a label at the top left. And then I'm going to use another like 2 or 3, and then that's it. So like of the 800 die cuts that were in this stash kit, I use like 4. Pretty much, because even this one I'm putting the label on, I'm cutting half of it off and putting the other half of the label back in the little die cut bin. So I am not making a dent at all in the die cuts. I made much of a bigger dent in the cards because I use like 5 or 6 cards on this particular layout, but I do not use many of the die cuts at all, which is just kind of funny. The point is not to use it up. The point is just to use what you can. But it is kind of funny to me that I have such a large stash kit and then it doesn't even look touched. Like seriously, barely touched. The scrap white cardstock that I had in the kit probably looks a lot more diminished than the other things because I had to use quite a bit of that. I had to mat, you didn't see it, but I had to mat a couple of the smaller photos on the white cardstock because I had to cut them down just a little bit to be able to see some of the things on the cards that they're matted on. And then also had to do the 4x6 pockets, the 3 4x6 pockets, all in the white cardstock. So I used a lot of the white cardstock. You just can't really see that. And I have a million of these little remark sticker sheets. I will link in the description box below a link to get those on Amazon. So I just joined, as of like this morning, the Amazon affiliate group. And what that means, I think it's called Amazon Associates. And what that means is that I can link things to Amazon for you to purchase, and then I get a little bit of a kickback on those purchases. You don't pay any extra or anything like that, but I get a little bit of income from anything that you purchase using my links. But what that is nice for is that the affiliate program that I used before called Magic Links did not work with Amazon. So it's really nice because I buy most of my stuff through Amazon. So it's kind of nice to now be able to link all the things from Amazon and have that affiliate link set up for you guys. If you don't know, I am working from home full time now, and it's been quite an adjustment, and I'm still kind of getting used to it, but I appreciate any kind of support that I get from you guys, even if it's just using my referral links whenever you're purchasing something from Amazon. So if you're ever looking for anything that I use, if it's still available, I will link it in the description box below. And of course, I have my little disclaimer that those are affiliate links, if they are. Some of them are not, but if they are, it's linked there. But also, because I use stash kits, a lot of the supplies I use are not available anymore. A lot of these things could be super old, or they're so mixed up I have no idea where they're from, or they're from previous pre-made kits that may have been exclusive items, things like that. So a lot of the things that I used in my layouts are not necessarily available, but a lot of times you can find something similar or something comparable. Like these particular freckled fawn alphas are not available anymore. I actually just looked before I started the voiceover. They are not available anymore, but you can find alphas of a million different types all over the place. So I just happened to have these in my stash that I had purchased from Freckled Fawn. I probably even purchased them when they were on clearance, which probably means they were going out of sale whenever, like they were no longer going to be available when I purchased them to begin with anyways. But I am always using things in my stash and trying to just utilize them to the fullest. Like for instance, I don't have an E anymore of these sets. So I took a B and just kind of trimmed off the little the right side of it to make it into an E. And the same thing with these rub-ons. These are Paper House Productions. There we go. Rub-ons, those large alphas that you see to the left, they're no longer available. I looked, I can't find them anywhere. But I didn't have a Y, so I take a V and then I take the tail of a J and make a Y whenever I'm spelling out years. So I'm using the Freckled Fawn alphas to spell out 10 because there weren't any numbers. And then I'm also going to use these Paper House Productions rub-ons to rub out the word years. And again, I'm just kind of utilizing what I have. I have an E, an A, an R, and an S, but I didn't have a Y, so I went ahead and used that V and then the J as well. I like these alphas. I really like rub-on alphas for some reason. I find them easy to use and also find them super nice looking on projects because you can make the letters as close as you want, make them as far as you want, overlap them if you want to, whatever you want to do. You can really kind of make those work for you. And look how clear and crisp that looks on there. It almost looks printed on there, but it's a rub-on, or there are separate rub-on letters. So it just has that really nice, clean and crisp look to it. All right, so we're nearing the end of this layout. I have a couple of things I'm trying. So this is where I realized, oh my gosh, I've barely used any of these die cuts. So I go through and I find a couple that I go ahead and add. This one just says make it happen. And this is a picture, or these two pictures are of Kaylin watching us getting our tattoos for our 10-year anniversary. And he went with us, of course. He goes everywhere with us. And so it was just kind of funny. He's sitting there with us. We had a friend who did the tattoos for us. And so he's just kind of sitting in there with us after the tattoo parlor had already closed, watching us get our tattoos. And then I have this other one down at the bottom that says, for reals. And then I had used that die cut over Kaylin where he had written his name. And it says duly noted. I'm trying to include his handwriting in a couple of different places throughout my album so you can kind of see the progression, or we can kind of see the progression of his handwriting as now in school. He's actually in 2nd grade now, but these photos are from 2016, so he was in kindergarten at the time. Yes, kindergarten at the time, and that's when he was learning to write in cursive. So that might be the first time I have documented in my albums him writing his name in cursive, which is kind of funny. His handwriting is much better now, but it's really kind of cute to see it there. Just adding a few of these stickers around, and this is pretty much going to end out this layout. I do turn off the camera, and then I come back and realize, oh, I want to add this paper clip at the top. So I'm going to layer this on this top card, and it's a Bella Boulevard like paper clip thing, and I'm just going to use my tiny attacher to attach that, and then that's actually going to finish out this layout. I will have some still photos at the end for you, of course. Please, as always, ask me any questions you have, leave any comments you have below, and I hope you guys are enjoying this February of videos. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions or recommendations or requests, and I will try to accommodate as much as possible. All right, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.